What's good, H0rr0rr? This is your boy H0rr0rgamer back with another video for you. And before I get into this video, I want to apologize for the birds in the background. They're happy, singing, having a joyful time because it's actually kind of sunny right now. So we haven't seen the sun much here in PA for a while. But anyway, back to business at hand. So as you can tell by the title, today is Judgment Day. Today, the verdict is in. Today, I'm going to be reviewing and giving my final score on Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now, before I get into it, just know your boy H0rr0rgamer's reviews have spoilers in it all day, every day. If you haven't played the game, pause this, play the game, come back, and tell me what you think. But with all that being said, H0rr0rr, from here on out, it's game over. So, I'm going to give you a second. Alright, that's it. No more. This is it. If you watch beyond this point, watch at your own risk. So, let's get into the synopsis of this game. So, this game is a remake of Part 3, the OG Part 3, which has our protagonist Jill. And she's trying to escape Raccoon City, and this whole time she's trying to do this, damn birds in the background, bruh. She's being hunted by Project N, or codename Nemesis, which is this big BOW who has big weapons, and his main focus and his main goal is to kill STAR's members. And he will stop at nothing to get that done. So basically the game starts out, it's almost like a dream sequence, and it's in first person. And as you play through this dream sequence, you walk up to the mirror and she sees herself turning into a zombie and she blows her own head off. And then you wake up and it's still in first person, but now you can interact with the world a little more. You can read memos and stuff and read letters and shit, and then you walk into the bathroom and you turn off the faucet, and then it does this cool little like camera shift into over the shoulder, which was a good camera work. And as you go out, the phone's ringing and it's Brad Vickers. He's telling you to get out, and then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, let me grab it, and then boom, fucking right off the bat, first 9 minutes into the game, fucking Nemesis breaks through and is hunting you down. And he hunts you and basically chases you through this apartment complex until you get out to the main street. And let me tell you something. Raccoon City is beautiful. Like, the design of this game is beautiful. It's destroyed, there's flames, but the way they have it look, like, the sequence when you're walking and you meet Brad and you're following him and you're walking in front of the fucking movie theater, and it's this huge movie theater and it's on fire and these posters, and it's just, the scenery is just amazing. Like, they did their thing with this, and I really respect that. Like, Raccoon City feels like its own character in this game, not like in Part 2 where you're only outside in Raccoon City for maybe 3 or 4 minutes of the entire game. Most of this game takes place in Raccoon City, and they do a damn good job with all of the backdrops and making the world interactable. I love how they added the explosive barrels and the electric generators that can be environmental helps to you. Like, if you can, because there's a lot of zombies in this one. It's not like Part 2 Remake where it's confined and there's zombies, but there's like limited zombies. This one's open, so of course you can have this open concept with more zombies. You can get about 3, 4, 5 of them around this barrel, and you can just blow this barrel up and it kills them all with one shot. That's pretty cool. With the generators, you get a bunch around the generator, you pop the generator and it like electrocutes them, and then you can just sit there and pick them off or run by them or whatever you need to do. I find those extremely useful as Nemesis is chasing you throughout this city. And he's relentless, guys. The way Nemesis fucking chases you in this game, he almost makes you hate him so much, but you still fear and respect him. I do apologize for these damn birds, man. They are fucking going at it with each other. But no, they're he's so relentless in his pursuit of Jill throughout this game, that it's nerve-wracking. And I know a lot of people are really downing this game, and they're saying that it's trash, it was rushed. Put it this way, I'm going to give you an example. The Last of Us Part 2. I played through it. Great game. Amazing game. I'm not saying anything bad about it. But what I will say is, it started off amazing, but as it progressed, it was so long that it almost towards the end became a chore to beat it. And it kind of, for me, took a little bit away from the experience. With Resident Evil 3 Remake, it didn't do that. It kept me enthralled the whole time. It actually, on my first playthrough, I just beat it yesterday. My first playthrough of the story, it took me 7 hours, because I was taking my time and trying to find stuff. And it was a great 7 hours. I don't think it was rushed. I don't think it felt rushed. The boss fights were pretty genuine. I mean, they were just as, in my opinion, the boss fights with Nemesis in this one were just as intense, if not more intense, than the William Birkin fights in Part 2. There's especially the fight scene in front of the church where you're fighting Nemesis in his second form, where he's like this big kind of like dog monster creature and he's running around in circles and shit. That can be pretty intense. The first battle was pretty intense when he came at you with the flamethrower on top of the construction site. That was an intense battle. Now, I will say the final battle with Nemesis, the first part of the battle where you fight his like third form, was a bitch. And the reason I think it was a bitch was because I felt like at some points they added more than what they needed to in that battle. Like, I mean, it's hard enough that you gotta fight Nemesis, but to add like the zombies in like the pit, because if you don't know, Nikolai is a fucking asshole in this game basically, and he's a double agent or whatever. He's working under the table for somebody else who's paying him a lot of money, and he's actually recording your encounters with Nemesis throughout the game and kind of like selling them to the highest bidder. And so basically he makes this almost arena type deal at the end, and he says, if you make it interesting, I'll give you back the cure for this virus outbreak, because the US government is sending a missile to destroy Raccoon City, but you are one of your team members, I forget his name, one of your team members gets a hold of the government, and they said, if you can give us something valuable, we will halt the missile strike. And that's what this is. They said, if we can get the cure to us in time, we'll halt this missile strike. So, of course, Nikolai has to come in, steal the cure, and make it to where you fight Nemesis in this pit, make it interesting, and we'll give you back the sample. That fight sequence was kind of a bitch, because like I said, it was hard enough that you were battling Nemesis in a confined space, but adding zombies in that was a bitch. That was a little overkill for me. Still an intense moment, you know. That doesn't take anything away from this game. The parts with Carlos were really good. I especially enjoyed the siege scene in the hospital where Jill was infected by Nemesis on your second encounter with him, and in the hospital you have to protect her after you give her the vaccine, and they're trying to like lock down the hospital from zombies getting in. So you have to sit there, and it's like a horde mode where they keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, but you got to protect that room while I forgot it. I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. While he's trying to lock down, you have to kill the waves of zombies. That's pretty fun. The trip to RPD with Carlos was very fun. They actually explain a few occurrences that have already taken place in part 2. They explain how those happen, which was very enjoyable for me. I was pretty pumped to see that. And all around, the gaming experience, it controlled exactly like Resident Evil 2 Remake. The story was solid. For me, it didn't feel rushed. I don't believe it felt rushed at all. It was a good, solid game. It did what it needed to do in the time frame that it had. I always put it this way: I will take quality over quantity any day of the week. So, if you make an amazing game that's 6 hours long and it keeps me occupied the whole 6 hours, I'll take that over a game that starts out good but is 20 hours long and it starts losing me towards the end. This kept me straightforward the whole time. Definitely a great game. What else do I have to say about it? I mean, the game was amazing. I think a lot of your critics who are saying it's not have it wrong, but that's my opinion. IGN had it right. I think that we have something here with these remakes. The RE engine is about the most fluent and most perfect engine to have these kind of games I've ever seen. The graphics are amazing, the facial captures are amazing, voice acting is amazing. Like, all around, this game is just an amazing experience from beginning to end. So if I have to give it a final score after everything I just explained to you, I will have to give Resident Evil 3 Remake a 9.5 out of 10. A solid 9.5 out of 10. There are little things that, like I explained in my my thoughts so far video when I gave it a 9.5 there, I'm going to stick with it because there are a few little things that are keeping it from being a solid 10. And what little things are there? There's a couple control things, I will say, that kind of fuck me up a little bit. That for me keep it from being a 9 10, a perfect 10. There are a couple parts of the game that sometimes just feel OP, but I gotta give you the bad with the good. So, and there's a few parts of the game where it feels kind of a little glitchy to me. There's certain parts where, like, there's dialogue, and the dialogue, when you're away from them, it's not matching with the mouth. But other than that, that's why it doesn't get the perfect 10. So with all that being said, H0rr0rr, the verdict is in. Solid 9.5 out of 10. If you have the means to get this game, definitely get this game. This game is worth every penny. Don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the critics. Experience it for yourself, and you'll see that this game is a very good quality game, and Capcom did it again. For some reason, Capcom, they're nailing these remakes, and I'm excited to see. I'm going to be honest with you, I would like to see an RE engine remake of the first one, because I think that the mansion, that would be legit. Like, I think that would be legit. Even though we already have a quality remake of the first one, I would love to see a remake of the remake. And I would also love to see a remake of Code Veronica, and this isn't even a Resident Evil game, but I'd also like to see a remake of Dino Crisis. That's my wish list. So, but alright, H0rr0rr, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm actually working on some challenges. Oh, and that's another thing too. They got challenges that you can do to unlock currency and buy things like unlimited ammo guns and health coins and pouches and stuff like that. Definitely check that out too. I forgot to put that in the video. But yeah, they have like an unlocking system which makes replayability there and fun. I'm going to keep replaying it until I'm able to unlock everything. Now, some of the challenges might seem a little hard, but don't let that deter you. As you play, you're going to get better. But some of the challenges do seem a little insane, and you just don't want to jump into those right away unless you're a seasoned Resident Evil veteran, which I am not. But with all that being said, H0rr0rrgam3r, get out there, jump in the game, have fun. Let me know some of your experiences that you're experienced with it, whether it's good, whether it's bad. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that ding-a-ling-ding-ding button. That way you know that there's a video every time I post one. So with all that being said, H0rr0rrgam3r, this is what H0rr0rgam3r saying. I love you guys. Thank you. And be safe out there. And don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.